Hey guys, like I said earlier, I got another package besides the one that I showed y'all, which that was like a package, a Christmas gift from myself that I already had to myself. So someone just messaged me. I got a package, and I know y'all just saw the wrapping paper on my other things tilting. But the reason is because my family shares wrapping paper. And actually, my aunt and my uncle who sent me this package, they live over in Tennessee, and how it goes is my grandma wrapped my presents from them, but they ended up taking it back in their gifts because I was sick on Christmas. And so they shipped it, and it took a long time to get here. It took a few weeks. So now I have the gifts that they sent me, my brother and my sister, but my brother and my sister already got theirs. And so they had to ship mine back down here from Tennessee, where they live. So, I really love them, and my grandma wrapped these pretty nice and neat. And this is Abby XOXO, and this is my little cousin's handwriting and stuff. And then this one says my little cuz XOXO. And then this says Abby XOXO, and this is heavy. So hopefully it's a good, durable present. And then this one says Abby XOXO, and there, that's how they say it, and there's 4 of them. So I'll get to wrapping them now. So first I'm going to open the heaviest one, which is this one, and I really like it. And my grandma wrapped it, and then sometimes she didn't wrap this one, my cousin did. So, let's see. And they know I love reading, so it might be a book. That was right. It was, German Stilton books. I love these books. I got number 2, 9, 28, and 50. And I already have these, but thank you. I have extra copies now. Yes, I already have them. I just told them I have them, but I don't know. My other copies are over at my grandma's. So next I'm going to open the second heaviest. God, what did they wrap this with? I'm just like tearing them up like I do on Christmas. Oh, it's another book, and this is The Tale of Desperex, and I've wanted this book for a really long time. And it's like so old, but it's like so awesome. I love these books. I love this book. I've seen the movie and I've read the book once, but I wanted to have I want to have a copy myself. And this is the Gold Newbery Medal, and this is for the most driven contributor to American literature for children. And this is a children's book that's really thick. How I got into this book was I was in 3rd grade, and our teacher read the whole book to us throughout the year. But on certain days, we'd read these books. So that's how I got into both of them. We'd read Geronimo Stilton and The Tale of Desperex, and we finished the book there was like that much left, and we finished it on the very last day of school, because even though it was a half day, we finished it because that's all we did that day was we read, she gave us copies ourselves, we read some of that like that, but then we went through the whole book and we read it together, and then we did like this really cool mural on it and everything, and the school loved it. Next I'm going to open this one, and I already know what it was because by the texture of the thing. And it was a book. It was another book. And this is Sparrow Road, Chanel O'Connor. And that looks like a good book. And then I got 2 movies, and that's Grease and Picture This. I love these 2 movies. This is Grease 2, but I like Grease 1 too. So, 2 movies. And then lastly is this present. And I think I know what this is. And I was right, I guess. And it was the Titanic. I've already told my grandma I wanted a tape version of the Titanic, and this is what it looks like. It's in this really cool case, and I love it. And there's 2 DVDs, part 1 and part 2. Yeah, part 1 and part 2. And I gotta put them back in there like this. But I really love these movies. and they're just great. It made me cry the first time I watched it, but I was okay. I'm okay. But thank you for this, aunt and uncle. I really love everything you got. And there you go. I'm gonna read y'all the back of this, and this is 11 Academy Awards, and they got the best director, best original song, because all the songs on this tape were originally made for this tape. You never heard them not until you saw this tape. And then best original dramatic score, which I have no clue what that means. Best costume design, which means all the costumes were dated back in the 1980s, 1980s, like the 80s, 70s, 80s, and stuff like that. It's actually, it was a really long time ago, and I really love this movie because it was made a really long time ago. This is like the original one, and people are making their versions of it today, and they're just not as good as this one, the one that I have in my hand. I actually want to find it on DVD just so I can sit down on my computer, which I'm filming what I'm filming from right now, my new computer or something if I get one, or my phone, and just sit down and watch it. And be like, oh yeah, I love this movie, blah 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 blah, share it with friends and everything. But the first time I saw it, I cried. And then they have this art direction, and I have no clue what that means, but I think it has the best art. And the Titanic was a real thing. This is a real boat. This is a real boat. They have studies on it today, and if y'all go to the National Science Center in Lexington, it's in Greensboro, I think. If y'all go to the National Science Center in Greensboro, they have this exhibit where they dug things up from the right there in the middle of the Arctic Ocean. I think it's the Atlantic Ocean right there in the middle, in the Spank ASS middle. Right there in the middle is where the Titanic drowned, and there's parts I would say they're this far apart, the parts are this far apart, because you gotta think they don't want to dig up the boat because they're scared that the boat, once they bring it up, it's just gonna shatter. Which I'm actually pretty scared about that too. But me and my mom and my dad and my brother and my sister, actually my brother and sister were at school. This was last Wednesday or Thursday. We were watching a thing on the Titanic where they were down there in a submarine. That's the only way you can get down there, and it's really cold down there. So they had jumpsuits on and everything. But they were down there, and they were looking for more parts and more jewelry and stuff. That's what they dug up at the National Science Center. That's what they had there. They had jewelry, the jewelry from back then, and the high class stuff and everything, silverware, plates, forks, and everything. But it's almost all rusted. They even found. So what this movie's about is it's about this diamond, and it's this blue diamond, and it's a really pretty diamond, and it's a heart-shaped diamond, and it's a really pretty sea blue, and everything, and I fell in love with it the first time I saw it. And the first time I saw this movie when I was 3, and then the second time I watched it, it was on TV both times, and I actually sat down when I was 3 and watched it. Because my mom said that my mom and my grandma were there, and my grandma said that I just fell in love with the movie at first. The first time I saw and heard both of them speak, I was I just sat down and fell in love with it. I laid on the floor, I rolled around just at every single moment. And then I watched it again with my grandma when I was 10, and that was 2 years ago, and I cried and cried and cried. That was my 5th time watching it. But you will not believe how many tears I had rolling in my eyes. I was just I had makeup on that night too, because we just got back from a wedding, and I had my face was full of makeup, and I had eyeliner and everything, and it was just dripping down my face, and I'm oh my god. But yeah, I really love this movie. And so let me get back to all the awards. And then it has best sound, which it's really important with the sound because sometimes cameras, like the cameras they have now, they pick up too much wind. And sometimes you want it to pick up wind, but sometimes you're like, don't need to pick up wind. I don't need to pick up wind. And this has best chromatographic. I have no clue what that means. Best sound effects editing. I really love the sound effects and the editing in this movie because I mean they didn't take too much out. But they took a few things out of it. But it's a really dramatic, nice, sad, love, romantic fairy tale. Best visual effects. That's really cool. And best filming and editing. I really love this movie. Of course, it's the real story, and if I remember how it goes, I'll tell y'all a little piece of how it goes. Is this woman, this girl right here, she is like the main character. Her and this boy are the main character, and I'll show you. That's what they look like together. And this part, but they're the main characters, and well, how it goes is, see, they when the boat crashed, it hits an iceberg. So like here's the iceberg, here's the boat, and it's supposed to be unsinkable, but it goes and it crashes right into the iceberg. And so like it sinks. There's like really big holes in it, and it sinks down to the ground. But she's a survivor and everything. She's the survivor, and he dies of the coldness of the water because they're in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and it's like freezing outside and everything, and it's really cold, and so, but she survives, and they bring her in because they're down there looking at the boat, and they bring her in to just see if to just like ask her questions when she's old. And there's one part that they use on Facebook that I really hate when they use it on Facebook because it's really sad to me because it goes, it's been 80 years. When it hasn't been 80 years since it originally sunk, but like in this movie it has been 80 years since it sunk for her because she was just a young teen, and she was really old but when they brought her back. But I really love this movie though because it's really romantic and dramatic. But if you and your husband, boyfriend, whatever want to see a movie that's really romantic, I would suggest the Titanic for anybody because I really love it. So that was one thing on the Titanic. And this movie, picture this, it's just like a movie about where this girl's trying to make this other girl jealous and blah 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 blah. And then there's Grease 2, which I love. I'm not going to get into full details of the movies because this video is already long and about me talking about the Titanic, and I really don't want to get too long in my videos talking about movies or anything. So, bye!